Hey everyone, Manon here. Ever feel like you're swimming in an ocean of information, struggling to stay afloat, let alone learn something new effectively? We've all been there. The good news is there's a life raft, a secret weapon to cut through the noise and actually master any subject. It's called Bloom's Taxonomy. And trust me, it's not as intimidating as it sounds. Think of it as a staircase, a step-by-step guide to not just learning, but truly understanding and applying knowledge. We're not talking about just memorizing facts here, folks. We're talking about owning that knowledge, bending it to your will, and using it to create something amazing. So, are you ready to unlock your full learning potential? Buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey through the 6 levels of Bloom's Taxonomy. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to conquer any subject, no matter how daunting it may seem. Let's dive in. All right, let's kick things off with the first level, remembering. Now, this might seem basic, and that's because it is. It's the foundation upon which all other learning is built. Think of it like gathering the raw materials before you start building a skyscraper. You can't build anything without a solid base, right? In this stage, we're talking about memorization, pure and simple, whether it's key dates in history, vocabulary words in a new language, or the basic principles of physics. You need to first get that information into your brain. Now, I know what you're thinking. Neil, memorization is boring, and you're right, it can be. But it's also crucial. It's like learning the alphabet before you can write a novel. So how do we make it less tedious? Well, there are tons of techniques out there. Flashcards, mnemonics, spaced repetition, the list goes on. The key is to find what works best for you and be consistent. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is a mastery of astrophysics. It takes time and effort, but trust me, the rewards are well worth it. Once you've got the basics down, you're ready to move on to the next level. Okay, so you've got the building blocks, the raw data. Now it's time to make sense of it all. This is where understanding comes in. The second level of Bloom's taxonomy. We're not just memorizing parrots here, folks. We need to understand the why behind the what. Think of it like this. You could memorize every single part of a car engine, but would you really understand how it works? Probably not. Understanding is about taking those individual pieces of information and seeing how they fit together to form a bigger picture. It's about being able to explain those concepts in your own words, to teach them to someone else. Can you explain the causes of the French Revolution without resorting to just regurgitating dates and names? That's understanding. This stage is all about asking why and how. Don't be afraid to question everything, to dig deeper and really get to the heart of the matter. Read widely, watch documentaries, have discussions with others. The more perspectives you expose yourself to, the deeper your understanding will become. Remember, the universe is full of mysteries, and it's our job to unravel them, one question at a time. And that brings us to the next level. All right, we have memorized, we've understood, now it's time to get our hands dirty. This is applying the third level of Bloom's taxonomy, where theory meets practice. It's one thing to understand a concept in your head, but it's a whole other ballgame to actually use it in the real world. Think of it like learning to ride a bike. You can read all the books and watch all the tutorials you want, but until you actually hop on that bike and start pedaling, you'll never truly learn. This is where the rubber meets the road, folks. If you're learning a new language, start having conversations, even if they're just basic. If you're studying programming, write some code. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we learn and grow. Remember those epic fails when you were first learning to walk? Yeah, we all had them, but we kept getting back up, kept trying, and eventually we were running marathons. The same principle applies here. The more you apply your knowledge, the more confident and competent you'll become. So get out there and experiment, explore, and most importantly, have fun with it. Chapter 4, Analyzing, Breaking It Down to Build It Up. We're getting into deeper waters now, folks, but don't worry, the view is spectacular from here. This is analyzing, the fourth level of Bloom's taxonomy, where we dissect information like cosmic surgeons. We're not just accepting things at face value anymore. We're digging deeper, looking for patterns, drawing connections, and breaking things down to understand how they work on a fundamental level. Think of it like examining a fossil. You're not just looking at a bunch of old bones, you're reconstructing the history of an entire species. You're asking questions like, What environmental factors led to this creature's evolution, or how did its anatomy allow it to survive in its environment? This is where critical thinking comes into play. We're challenging assumptions, evaluating evidence, and forming our own conclusions based on the information we have. This is where things get really interesting, folks. By analyzing information, we gain a deeper understanding of the world around us and our place in it. And we start to see the interconnectedness of everything, from the smallest subatomic particle to the largest galaxy. And that, my friends, is a truly awe-inspiring thing. Chapter 5. Evaluating, judging with a critical eye. Okay, we're in the upper echelon of Bloom's taxonomy now, folks, where we separate the cosmic wheat from the chaff. This is evaluating, the fifth level, where we become judges in the court of knowledge. We've analyzed, we've dissected. Now it's time to render a verdict. Is this information accurate? Is it biased? Is it relevant? These are the questions we're asking ourselves. Think of it like a scientific peer review. You're not just accepting a study's conclusions because they sound good. You're scrutinizing the methodology, looking for flaws in the data, and determining whether the conclusions are actually supported by the evidence. This is critical thinking at its finest, folks. We're bombarded with information from all sides these days, and it's more important than ever to be able to evaluate that information objectively. Don't just believe something because someone in a position of authority told you it's true. Question everything, demand evidence, and think for yourself. Remember, the truth is out there, but it's up to us to find it. Chapter 6. Creating, birthing, new worlds of knowledge. We've reached the summit, folks, the Mount Everest of Bloom's taxonomy. This is creating, the sixth and final level, where we become architects of knowledge, builders of new worlds. We're not just consuming information anymore, we're producing it. We're taking everything we've learned and using it to create something new, something original, something that's never been seen before. Think of it like composing a symphony. You're not just playing the notes on the page, you're arranging them in a way that evokes emotion, that tells a story, that creates an entirely new world within the listener's mind. This is where true innovation lies, folks. It's about thinking outside the box, challenging the status quo and coming up with new and creative solutions to the problems that face us. It's about pushing the boundaries of human knowledge and understanding. So go out there and create something amazing. Write a book, compose a song, design a new product, start a business. The possibilities are endless. The universe is your oyster, folks. Now go out there and make a pearl. So there you have it, folks. Bloom's taxonomy, your roadmap to mastering anything. Remember, it's not about rushing through these levels, but rather about building a solid foundation of knowledge and understanding. Take your time, ask questions, and most importantly, never stop learning. Want to learn faster? Apply these 6 steps today. Start with a subject you're passionate about and watch your knowledge skyrocket. And hey, if you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a cosmic thumbs up and subscribe for more mind-expanding content. Until next time, keep those brains firing and keep looking up.